I wish what I am going to do now was live. Not because of what's inside the value, not what you're going to hear, but what I'm going to express and explain is I need to be closer to everybody. I need to fall back. When the information highway begins to flow, there's no stopping. There's only slowing down and gateways and canals. I have to watch out for the Pamela Canal. Do you remember the Panama Canal? The Pamela Canal? The DNA, the son of DNA? Anderson? Neil Anderson? How about the canals of the mountain? What passes between the canals of the mountain but Moby Dick? Pamela Anderson. Colors of dresses she wears. What's going on with the big red machine? Why is Johnny on the bench? And what's happening to the roses? Because eat of the defeat of the one who took the chance to take the gamble, but not to take away from any, but was psyched out as the bad rose. He was the black rose, playing on a red team. Johnny's on the bench. Who's there? Is it the receiver? Who is pitching for the team? Who is on first? What position is first in baseball? Let me go and look what positions first is in baseball. Let me go to a new Google. And before I go there, why I'm so excited is because there's just so much information. I was so busy today. I was lining up all the information. If I would have been driving, I would have needed a recorder. But I was working, so my mind can think. I didn't have two hands to write it down, and the machine was too loud. So the only thing I can do is repeat and save the information and then go write it down. Has anybody seen this or this or this? Well, before I go back to baseball and Johnny Bench, let's go back to baseball and Johnny Bench, but we're going to bring you that and show you what happens when it goes to all six sides. What happens to this? Because I'm just going to give you a slight update of what I did. Okay, it's right here. I did it right here. You tell me, is that the same? I'm only copying what they did. Okay, I'm only copying what they did. I only copy what you do. Then I create the equations, I instow it. It becomes 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 7. But in low shoe, it becomes 4, 9, 2, 4, 3, 8. In low shoe, in numbers, it's 1, 4, 7, 8, 9. But in low shoe, it's 4, 3, and 8. 1 and 6. Bring me the light. Don't forget, the missing piece is number 5, right? Because everybody gets a free space. You remember how you play bingo? Everybody gets a free space. Okay? Everybody gets a free space in bingo. Everybody gets a free space. So when you sit up on this one over here, look at that. You know what? Why don't we just darken it all in because we got all the numbers. So what do you have? You have a W. Look. What do you have? You have a W. Now, if I would put one more over here and just create the one position, I would put a star in between the two W's. The same thing goes here and the same thing goes here. In low shoe, 2, 7, 6, and 8. In numbers, 3, 6, 9, and 1. This is what this stands for. What is not used is here, even within the free space. You're asking what you count. Would you like to see 911? I will show you the numbers as 911. I have 1 and 3. In between is 2 and 4. From 13 to 24 is 11. But in between 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 is only 10. But if I would have went, how much is it from, let me mark this down, 13 and 24. Now, what happens if I do this a little bit differently? Okay, in between 13 and 24, like I said, is 11 and 10. Now, what happens if I put it to 31 and 42, which is backwards the other way? It would still be 11 and 10. But if I would take 31 away from 42, that would be 11. But if you add the 31 back to it, that's a total of 12 numbers. You get a total of 12 numbers that come in between this side. So now you have 24 from 13 to 24 is 11. The other thing I wanted to mention, you can do it at any number, any two numbers in between. 79 in between is 86. But wait, there's a new twist to this one. I'm sorry I'm not showing you down on paper, but I'm certainly going to tell you. I'm telling you because your video's still on and you're still watching me. So you're asking me to tell you. You're envisioning the future. Your perspective on the future looks good or is interesting. You're having a good time, right? Is that all that counts? You're grabbing a beer, you're having a good time? Because that's what it's all about. If you can have a good time doing the thing you love, only because of the risk and the money factor, then we are all living in our own deceit, and we've all been defeated because we want more to show a good time, but we can't have a good time getting there, and after that, it's always work, work, work. So you've taken away everything, devoured it, and put it into a few minutes. That's all that makes man's happy. That one weekend that brings him 3 hours in traffic back and forth, that he sits 4 hours on the beach, that was good enough for him. How easily we go. So this is the thing of the new twist. The twist is not 13 and 24, which is 11. But now we're going to go what's less. What can be deemed as less than 79 and 86 is... Hold on, you can't do that numbers because it stops at 9. Give me another number, 64. So you have 5 and 7 and 3. Now, what's different about these numbers? You see, if I went to 79 and you wanted to go to after 79 becomes 0 or 1. It's 0 because the place you stand on is your mark X 1. So we're going to go on, let's use the number 46. So if we go from 46 to 57, 46 to 57 is 11. Adding 46 back is 12. 12 and 11 is your number 23. The distance in between is 10 equals to 33, the 33 creation. But if you go below, the high side, okay, of 4 and 6 is 10. The high side is 12. 12 equals 3. 10 equals 0. 1 plus 6 equals 7. This would be 7 and 3. But the low side would be 4 and 6. The low side would be 3 and 5. So in between 35, in between 53 and 46, is that the way it is? 53 and 46. 46 to 53 is 8. 35 to 46 is 11. Both in the middle world. 3, 5, and 4 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. 7, 6, and 5 is 18, becomes 9. So you see how it always stood between 35 to 46. We would have a total of 35 to 46. We would have 81. But if we would use 46 to 57, 46 to 57, which would equal 40, 50 is 90, would be 103. That would equal to Mercury. I know it's a little confusing. There's more to it. Maybe I didn't explain it. I should have sit down a little bit better. But what I want to talk about is 4th Street. Because after 3rd, the first of all THs begin with 4th, and it ends with 19th. The total is 23. Adding one or the other, the total is 24. Because we forget. When we leave from 4 to get to 19, there's 15. Add the 4 to 15 is 19. Is that correct? But you had to get the 4 to 1 on 4 before you got anywhere at all. You had to have that one spot you were standing in. It has a value when you land there. You get there in 3 steps, and now you leave in 3 steps, but you're not counting the place you're on, so you add it back in. That's the reason why 0 is 1, because you're already there. It's everything and nothing. That's just what it is. The other thing I wanted to mention is the baseball. Yes, baseball player number position. Baseball player number position. Okay, so here we have player number position, and I'm going to show you on this one over here. Okay, now I'm going to show you something that's small. Can you see? Hold on a second. Let me see. Let me show it to you right here. No, that's not good enough. I'm going to show it to you right here. Now, what I'm going to explain to you, let me move that a little bit because, now what I'm going to explain to you about this, when it says mark X, if it's a disciple, if it's an apostle, when you mark X, mark the spot with X, okay? You're marking the spot with X, okay? Understand it. Understand it. But when you mark it with a circle, you're talking, the circle says position, the X says I take the position, because things that go in a position, if they're not cylinders and they move, they entertain their entire space. You stand, you sleep, you walk, you breathe. The area you perform in is almost as much behind you in balance as it is in front of you, as the direction you move, you look, you participate. When you look, the pitcher is in position number 1. The catcher is in position number 2. But first base is position number 3. So who's on first base? Number 3 is on first base. What's his name? Who is his name? W-H-O. But don't forget, let's not forget about the owl. Something special about the owl. On second base, okay, what's on second base is what the Watts, W-A-T, or Watson. You see, we started with Pamela Anderson, the Panama Canal, her great, beautiful breasts, in which are the passage for anything that goes between the breasts. The mountains, the rivers, whatever it is that flows between the breasts, before it reaches the Suez Canal, the West Bank, passages and buildings, things below the earth. When an ant goes into the earth and he builds, he puts all the earth on top. So what do you think happened? They built and they did all they did, and they put, where's the earth? On the roof. We're living on the roof of another world. So if somebody was to say to me right now, what do you think? Are we alone in this world? I go, no. I says, we're possibly on the roof, but it's only a thought and a theory. There is no reality, only but within your own perception there is what all is. Your great imagination is what makes who you are interesting. What you want to hear, what you'd like to hear, and what you hear. The difference and the patience, the understanding of the time that it takes for one that possesses the annato, how can I call this? The annato dispiration, which means I make things disappear and come back just by one word, because I speak. You have to imagine in your mind, close your eyes, see it. See it. So we go back to the baseball. Who is on first? But in low shoe. In low shoe. If I had to put the numbers in low shoe, if I had to put this in low shoe, this number over here, I would have to turn the base this way in low shoe. Why? Okay, look, you see where this chip is here? See where this chip is here? These four corners are 1379. But they're not played as 1379. It's played as 2, 3, 4, 5. It's played 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 is over here. In all reality, 6 would be here, 7 would be here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all you really need. Then there's the center fielder, 3, 6, 9, 6, 3, 6, 3, 6, 9, 6. These two, 3, 6, 3, 6. But if it's in low shoe, this 3 will now be a 2. This 3 will now be a 2. This R, this R, okay, would now be from 9. It would now be a 6. This would be 2 2s and a 6. The F will come from 6 and it will now become 7. This will be 9, 7. This will be 2, 7 and 2, 7. This would be 5 for the sun. The guidance, 78 for 9. And 9 will end up going over here. 9 will go over here. 6th position would have to go over here after that. He'd just flip around and go into the field. This is what has to happen. It has names. It has numbers. It has everything you need. And when you do this design, have you ever seen this design before? Okay? Have you ever tied something to behind your head? You put this bib around you, you tie this behind your head. You're the catcher. you're pitching it in with your fork. You take the fork, you take the pitcher, you take it off the mound, and you put it in your mouth. So this is the bib over your face. So we're going to get on to something else. You want to cut this up. So we cut it up, we put a P on this side, and we put a bird's beak of a bird's eye view. A bird's eye view from a bird's beak because the light comes in and it shows you your beak. But on this side it is a D. It becomes the deep E of the 4 to 16. Give me the light 416, Zion, Israel. Inside P and D. Whatever that P and D now goes to, P and D in sciences, P and D in capital letters on any word, P and D in their numerological count, P and D where 4 is now reverted to 1 and 1 area, okay? And why you put a square in here in the middle, and then you got a half here and then the 1 in the middle. You split this up. You put one straight piece from here to here, one straight piece from here to here, and then you have the same piece as here. All you have to do is cut it and it fits. So this is a D, which would become a 1, and this is a 7. 7 equals to 8. This would be 1 and 8. So this creation over here, PD, will create the angel resident in heaven of 2 worlds that we're in. One is whole and the other one is parts. DP would also be BP because now you can create it like this or break it up like this. But if you broke it up like this over here, okay, or broke it up like this by doing this. When you do this, you're piecing apart. You see the E here? You see the pitchfork? Okay, it connects the walls. It takes the 2 into the center, of which this area, okay, will break into this area here and put it to this area. Between here and here, you'll put a 4. You'll have 2, 4, 6 off of 5, 2, 4, 5, 6. No 3, because now the 3 would be over here. The 3 would be in between this side and that side. This is in low shoe, 2, 6. What normally would be 3, 9. Ouroboros, SO50, which says half gold, birthed in the secondary world of the half gold. They robbed us of half our mind. O are you. O is first. This is what O is. That's the mark you stand on. The spirit is there, the passage is there, and everything goes through your body, goes through your blood. Your main aorta. Your main aorta, however that works. If you want to know how the alphabet works, okay, really and truthfully, you're missing a letter. The spot you stand on. If you want to make the spot you stand on, okay, if you want to count the spot you stand on, okay, as Y, Z, Y, O and A in one letter. O and A in one letter like this. But at the same time, if you took the Y and you take the Y and you put them together, you create this to a split world, okay, with an underworld and another set of alphabets. At the same time, you also want to use the in-between, because if you start at O, when you get to the letter M, you have had 14 letters, okay? 14 letters, I'm going to show you. O, A to M is 13 plus 1. You had 14 positions used. That is why when you play pool and you have the 15 ball matching the 7 ball, is because it's 15 plus 1 is 16 equals 7. You can also use the 1 plus 7, but the 1 plus 7 is already in your formation, and the 0 ball is the cue ball. So the 15 ball stops at 6, 1 and 5 is 6, and the 7 ball stops at 7. It's always one below. So your alphabet goes from O to A to M, and then after M, wouldn't you perhaps think it would be this again? M and O. O and N have to go together now, because they're the next half. And the last spot you stood on, because the M is counted, so you walk off that spot of the counted M, and you become 0N. At the same time, this letter the letters get STs on them. ST, ST. Why? Because it's the first and last in their formation and can be changed through numbers, whether you want to go through the baseball positions, through numbers, whether you want to go numbers on your telephone, through numbers, whether you want to use numbers that are in low shoe, and also that's coming in. I'd like to show you something that's a little bit different. If we want to go about the shish kebab route. And the shish kebab route is like this. Do you see the bow tie, the way it goes, and the hot dog? Well, the shish kebab route, and I'm changing the subject just a little bit, goes to show, you see the limit here? Goes to show that the size of the moon diameter and the speed it goes around the Earth and the Earth that goes around the sun and how the other planets work are based on a gearing system. Okay, they're all gearing systems, different gears, different speeds. Okay, how much energy does it take to turn the system when everything weighs nothing? Okay, because of a secondary system. Irregardless, this is the shish kebab. In between are the veggies, otherwise it's the meat. Okay, they usually. So is it the veggies? Is it the meat, or is it the milk? Which way do the Hebrews and many religions, excuse me for using Hebrew, it's the one I know, how many religions separate their foods in the fridge? This is the shish kebab. Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Mercury, inside of Jupiter, okay, inside of Jupiter, and inside of Jupiter is Pluto, who is man 9, where A, E, and I go into one position and then become the realm of the size of man's head is the size of Jupiter. Man's will, the size of Jupiter. A man's ego, right? Just as strong in the size of Saturn. Do any of these planets actually exist? Haven't you ever heard the gas planet? Glass, plasma. Oh, it was there. Now where is it? Oh, like a dust, like in smoke. It was gone, right? It was here and it was there. Poof! The magic dragon, right? So now we got these. Now, what you want to calculate is if the moon, okay, if the moon or gold, okay, GOLD 3746, which has God in it, and 7634, and 7 is now 8, and where 6 is now 7, and 3 is now 2, and where 4 is now 1. So inside of this world of gold, in the 7 world, or the 7 house, or the size and the numbers of the diameter of the moon, of 37 and 46, 10, 10, of 74 and 63, 9, 11. Gold is the same numbers. This becomes the 19 moon DC connect the 42, which is the passage of 55. 13, 7 plus 6, 13. 7 times 6 is 42, and 13 is 55. 5, 3, 4, 5. In between 5 and 5 is 3 and 4 DC, which is 119, which is one spirit inside the soul. 1 and 9 in pool, both yellow. Don't forget, what I do is match. I match and I play. Oh, look! Number 7 and a car with 4 tires. Wow. Maybe it'll take 7 cars of 4 tires and make 28 tires, but only 7 drivers. But they might have a passenger in the passenger seat. Unless it's a motorcycle, they'd be behind them. I wonder if they got a trailer. We need at least 7 cars to get 7 trailers, and if it had 2 wheels or 4 wheels, then... So I just find I mix and match. You give me Monopoly, I'm going to ask Monopoly a question. And I'm going to answer the question to satisfy myself. But the numbers have to work. So now I have to satisfy the numbers. It has nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. All I do is what they ask. Who's asking? I'm asking. Can't I learn and see the difference in things that match? Oh, look at that. It matches. I know that if you took all these planets and moons and you measured their diameters and the amount of time it takes for them to make one full cycle, somewhere in the numbers will connect to the Mayan time. The Mayan time, 480 hours. It shouldn't be 480 hours because it's actually 16 hours a day. A real Mayan month has to be 320 hours, or 326 if you really want to count it. Okay, so that means that 6 hours of 326 in the month. 6 hours more a month times 18 months equals to 48, and 60 equals 108. There is one other thing I wanted to say. We spoke, okay, about 108, 108, 108. But you want to see how great 108 is? Between 9 and 11 is 8 and 10, 108. This becomes 7 and 8. This becomes 9 and 2. This becomes the head of the tail and the tail of the head. Like I said, the alphabet starts here. The next letter is ON. The first three numbers in pi, 0N, are the first three numbers in pi. 3.1415. 9, 2. Why 9, 2? Because it's 1 and 4. 1 and 5. 1 and 1 is 2. 5 and 4 is 9. 9, 2. 3.1492. And then it's 6, 5. Count the numbers. 1, 4, 9, 2, 6, 5. 5 and 6 numbers. The fifth and sixth number. Everything went in order. Communication is when 5 and 6 come together. It's just like 4 and 1 came together, but you bring the B world inside 6, which is these two across from each other. But don't count it that way. Turn it this way. Now they're above each other. Well, stop moving. Tetragrammahetratron or something or whatever. You want to get into that next? Sure. We're going to build it and take it apart, and we're going to set up a board that takes at least 36 numbers, but I usually like to work the board out to 108 numbers, putting one board to the left, one board to the right, two boards in the number. 4 by 36, 1440 minutes in the day. You want to go back to the Mayan, 320 makes 326, so let me mark this down. Where is this? I started it and I moved from it. So the Mayan, okay? The Mayan and 20 days, regular days. I know I'm all over the place, but that's what I do. At least I'm direct. I'm going to finish with one thing and get back to the other, so don't leave me right now. 20 days by 24 equals 480 times 3, 0, 240, 4, 2, 1440. Takes 3 days to make 1 day. 3 days to make 1 day, and the 1 day you come into and the 1 day you leave must reconnect. That would be your 4th day, in and out. You make 3 days, A, B, C. You go into the next, E, then you go F, G, H. So E becomes an in-between letter. Now, if you want to see how E becomes an in-between letter, first of all, on the piano, it's A, B, C, and then mark D. Okay, E, F, G, then mark A. B, C, D, then mark E. Okay, it'll mark J. That's a piano. Or in the alphabet, you keep them together. A inside its own circle, B, C, D, 4, 3, 2. E, F, G, H, I, G, H, I, J, K, and all these numbers become middle numbers to their own group. Don't forget the picket fence they keep telling you. Everybody keeps telling you about the picket fence. I want to show you. There's the picket fence. I'll make them all better for you, all right? We're going to make the picket fence. Look at that. Took 4 lines to make 2. All right? So I'm going to have to make 6 lines. There you go. 2, 4, 6, 8 lines. Okay? 8 lines to make 4, but I can see through the fence. Or is the fence going this way? Now, let's do one more thing. So when you do that, when you want to do your stuff, this is the way we count our B letters. This is where the hatchet comes in. The hatchet comes in because the hatchet can come down. But the hatchet, in order to cut this off, you ever see what a hatchet does? You can never get the corners. Everything falls off. Let's forget about the hatchet. Just look the way we come in. M and M. M and M. M and M, the picket fences. On, let's give me a second. There you go. Took 2 more lines to put them up. But look, the picket fence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got it. We got it, right? What would it be in baseball? Okay, so we got the picket fence. We understand the 5. Do you understand the line, this line, to this line, to this line, to this line? Do you see the space? I'm sorry about the space. Well, it's the space in between that when you turn it like this will actually show you your E letter. but what level is your E letter on? Okay, because there might be two of them that crisscross each other. I'm not sure. Or there's this fence, and then there would be another picket fence over here. Okay, so we'd make another picket fence. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on this picket fence, we did that. So now I got a picket fence here and a picket fence here. You like the way it is? Is it the corner of a street? Is it the corner of a building? Is it the corner of a street? It's 5 and 5. So the distance between here, 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 and here, and the distance of here, here, and here will set forward whether your E letter will be like this, one arm shorter than the other. At the same time, you can look here. I go in one single square, and I go 1, 2. But the other one comes from two sides. You see the way this comes from two sides? You see the box it's in? It comes from two sides. This is one of your pitchforks, okay? This is your T letter that supports your E, and you have no choice. This is on the cross, and it's in between. When you're on the cross, you're in between two, and you score 3 points because it looks like a field goal. So you have how that works, right? Wow, we're into 30 minutes. Didn't want to go this far. So now we're going back to, okay, and I don't have the answer for you right now, okay? We have to tear up the alphabet. I already did it with A, B, C, mark D, E, F, G, mark A, and do this with the piano. And the piano goes to G every time, but I make a mark on every time I count 3 letters, then I put a letter. I still continue E, F, G, and then I start at A again. But if I restarted at A, the first part of the alphabet, okay, that starts at A is actually H-A. H-A is 1 and 8. The first time you bring A into the next world is at H, and H-A is 1 and 8, and in between comes creation of 6, 3 by 6, 3 plus 6 is 2 and 7, B and E. Breaking an entry from Venus inside Jupiter. Breaking an entry, they broke into the harmonics, okay, inside the computer board of Jupiter inside of us, and distorted and changed pieces and parts so that today the machinery, the tools, it's all part of a bigger vibration within your own bones. See how people act. See what people do and who people are according to their jobs, what it makes them do, and who they become and who they were before. The studies are so slim, or the questions are so narrow, that we can never actually find the root, that even if we had the moral of the understanding. Next, we're going to do something else. Now, I can do this in low shu also. If I did this in low shu, A, B, C, D would not be A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D would change. We would have D first, okay? Then we would have I. Then we would have B. Then we would have C. Then we would start again. But in regular alphabet, it's A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. Now I'm going to let you watch me finish this. This will be the end of this section of the video. Hold on, my light went out. It'll probably burn my hand at the end of it, eh? So, okay. So we're going to go A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. Now we're going to take these 4 and we're going to make another one. Okay, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And I haven't done this in a couple of years, so I'm not sure if it's going to work out. So what we would do is we go A, 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 A. We put in the bigger one. Then we go B, 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 B. We put in the bigger one. Then we go C, C, C. Then we go C, C, C. Okay. Now the next one will be D, 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 and the next one will go D, D, D. So now all the combinations had a chance, and they all go into the same box. So what you do is you do another one, and you add up the letters to go 10, 10, 10. Now you take the remainder of the connection, D,
A, B, C. They all become D, A, B, C. So this whole board would end up looking like this, okay, which would make them all sevens. The next thing we have to do is there's one more formation. There's also low shoe, and there's this formation. This is the formation of A, B, C, D, in which you work it like this. A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A. Okay, now what you do is you take this, you don't do the same thing. Now what you do, you did A here, now you're going to start A here. So you're going to turn the book this way. Okay, and you go A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A. Okay, now you're going to take this and you're going to work over here. Now you're going to go A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A. Now you're going to do the book this way. Now you're going to go A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A. So now we're going to put them all together on a bigger board, right? I'm just going to fix them over here. There's another way to do this. The other way to do this, okay, is to continue from A, B, C, D, A, and then on the next one I should start in the corner, it would be B, and it would be a continuation. I did not do it in a continuation, I did it in the startup. So again, in this you get 3 A's this way. Okay, so watch what happens. I'm going to do all these 4 boards, right? So the 4 boards would be like this, A. So you'll do this, A, from here. Now you'll take this one here and you got A. So you'll put it here. A. Do you see what happened? A. Now we're going to go to the third board and we're going to go A. Okay, now the third board will be like this. Now the fourth board we get A. So we're going to put up A. So we get A. So now you get this. Okay. No, not this. You get this, and this. You get a big W created when you do this. But it's not only the big W. It's not only the big W for those who made it to the end. It's when you put the 3 together, when you put pieces together, it's also part of the rodent's coil. When you put pieces together, things that wind and go up can pass between each other. It's just a formation. Just a formation all the way up. We have the same coil and everything fits. That's how wires go together. It's all about computers, wiring. It's about everything. But the majors is hydroelectric, waterworks, big time. Okay, we have to remember radiation because the word rad or the rabbit is everywhere. How do rabbits hear? How animals hear? And the reflection of the usage of the terms of animals in our own language based on who you are, that you hear what you hear, so what you match and whatever you play is your game. I eventually understand that you will and I will come together on the round table and throw our book. We'll take our books, we'll throw it into the middle of the round table, we'll wait for the computer to say, yeah, these guys are talking about the same thing, but they never met. They never read a book. They don't study anything other than the combinations and questions and their own perception for a better understanding in the service of deliverance. And that is to share. Without the want to wield, without the patience to listen, my share is nothing. Inside the game at the casino, they always say, yo, 11. It's yo 11 because it's 0-1. When you play blackjack, they say, give me 11. Although this is the 0 valued at 15, it's the 0 valued at spot X marks the spot. X marking the spot is 24, and value of 15 is 39 in its own. As an angle of its own spot value where A takes position as X marks the spot, no one is in the spot. So as no one is in the spot, the A takes position inside the spot. The A takes position inside the spot, waiting to connect with who's ever on either side. At the same time, it becomes 6, 6 because the rim of the circle is the edge and finite of what you will see in the letter, or the difference of the color will illuminate, okay, and disintegrate the edges, dispersing, okay. The fraction over here that you see will create your F, or you won't see this because of the angle, and it'll be your L. So everything on its angles, when things are turned, are no longer what they are. And the angles will describe which world you are in. Okay, just like the series of the picket fence, 5, 10, 15, 20. 25 is another chip, right? In poker, 5, 10, 15, 20. Poker chip is 25. Now you have 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you got the stick to pick up the rest. One card picks up all the sticks. I know we went deep into this. Inside the difference of the minima, right? Because if you did use 10, there is a 10. I'm not going to go to do 10 in this world. There is a 10. But going at 1 and not starting at 0, okay, gives you 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. We come from 13 to 24, okay? There's 4, 8, 12, but we only count 11. But there is 12. But it's 11, 2, and not the number standing on. Therefore, point X marks the spot, which is the numbers 1 and 3. What's in the X's? Because the sticks and stones will break my bones. The sticks. When you put all the sticks together, you're creating a number. So what kind of sticks do you have? What I see is when I look at something, when I hear something for myself, if I want, I just break it apart. Nothing is what it is. It's only what it is perceived. And if you feel that you can, disillusion your own perception and look for something deeper, you can make it something else within your own realm of what the category you're perceiving. But anyways, just forget about what I just said there. But going back to gold and the size of the moon, okay, but next to this letter, the one number missing is the 5. 3, 4, 5. 4, 5, 6. 3, 5, 7. How about this one? 1, 3, 5, 7. No 5. How about this one? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I used all the angles on the face of the phone, and the only thing it's missing is 5. That means this is what surrounds 5. The gold. Even the word club, C-L-U-B, is part of that. There is one thing missing that when I mentioned the pianos, there's not only ABC, but there's ABC formation 1, ABC formation 2, ABC formation 3, and then we got to do it backwards and find out what's in the center and decide whether or not we want to use a bunch of bricks and move them over. Do you know where I got that one from? One of them gambling games with the checkered tiles from Pai Gow, I think. Pai Gow checkered tiles. And they move them tiles around to the position they want to start in. So there's always a different place to start for everyone and everything that goes on. So we're going to take different planets. We're going to put shish kebab on them. We already know that 2 of the planets, which is being held up by one candle and down by the other candle, this one over here is Earth, Venus. And this one down here is Neptune, Uranus, where they're holding one candle spinning alone. Why? That's the way it is. One candle spins alone. And there's a reason, because see these 3, right? These 3 are together. See, we spin the candle. See the N letter, how it works over here? We connect this shaft, okay, of the bob, the shish kebab, B-O-B, 13, 13. Up here and over here becomes the Lamed, becomes the 4. It's also the Aleph letter, the way it works backwards, the wings of Raphael after 44 minutes. And I wasn't planning to do one video. Is there anything else in here I haven't talked about? Yes, no, this was in my last video. Each one of these turns at its own time. This one is a 24-hour day. I didn't finish the Mayan thing, and I will finish it. This is your 24-hour day. These are the pods. These are part of who you are, and their days are different from your days. Breaking down between posts. Here's the Magen David. We break the star down because it has other meanings inside of it. Angles of the star have meanings, realities. What for? We spoke about the candles, and I jumped off to something else after that. Chives, eating chives, eating chives. There is one thing maybe I'm going to add into the end, but I'll leave it for something else. Ebola. You ever write Ebola down? 52631. No, we're going to have to make a new video for that because I see it, but I'm going to change it and make it neater. Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. Thank you for watching this video.